Almost everyone is making at least one of these sous vide mistakes. And today I'm going to share with you 5 things to stop doing and 5 things to start doing to ensure that you get better results each time. Sous vide is one of the easiest ways to cook a steak. It gives you immense control, it's forgiving, and it consistently produces amazing results. But just because sous vide is easy does not mean that you are getting the most out of it. Let's start with one that is extremely common and one that I made multiple times. Does butter actually make your steak taste better? The first thing that you should stop doing is adding butter to your sous vide bag. Beef has many flavor compounds that are fat soluble, meaning that they dissolve in fat. So while the butter is in the bag, some of the beef flavor is going into the butter and not the other way around. The butter doesn't penetrate the meat. Now, does that mean if you put butter in the bag, your steak is ruined? No, you can still have a great steak with butter in the bag. We are just trying to improve a touch more in a few different areas so that we have an incredible steak. So what should you do instead? Butter does add a richness to your steak, but it's all about when you add that butter. I would add the butter when you are searing the steak. Basting it with herbs and garlic, you get a beautiful aromatic butter on top of your steaks. The second thing you should stop doing is searing immediately after it comes out of the sous vide. Sous vide does take a while, so it might be tempting to just sear it right up as soon as it comes out and eat it. But it is better if you let it rest for a little while and that temperature comes down. Now you can let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. You can put it in the refrigerator or you can put it in an ice bath to get that temperature down a little bit quicker. In order to achieve that crust, you need to have a little bit of time in that pan. And if you spend too much time as soon as it comes out of the sous vide, you are going to overcook it. Your steak will not be the medium rare, which is the only temperature that you should be sous videing at. Just kidding, do whatever you want. So even if you let your steak sit and rest and let that temp come down, if you don't do this third one, you will still overcook your steak. And the third one is to get this steak as dry as possible. When it comes to drying off a steak, don't settle for just good enough. Dry it off as much as you can. Use as many paper towels as you need. Moisture is the enemy of a good crust. There is a process called a Maillard reaction, and that is the browning that happens in a pan. And there are 2 things that you need to achieve that reaction. You need low moisture and high heat. Dry it off, let it sit, dry it off some more. So the drier the steak, the better the sear and the quicker you can get it out of the pan. The fourth thing you should not do is to overcrowd your sous vide or the sous vide bag. Now, if you have multiple steaks in a bag and say they're on top of each other, or if you have a bunch of steaks in a small container, the water is not able to circulate around that piece of meat properly, and you will get an uneven cook. You might have differences in texture depending on how long something was at a particular temperature. So what you should do is make sure each steak has its own bag and make sure that they are spaced in your sous vide container well enough that the water circulates properly around each steak. So the 5th thing to not do is very important and possibly the most important one. Do not assume that cooking your steak for longer gives you a better texture all the time. A lot of tougher cuts of meat we want to sous vide for a very long time. But when it comes to sous videing steaks, you don't need a very long time. You need until basically the internal temp of your steak comes up to your temperature that you desire. Say 130 for medium rare. Once it gets to 130, the steak is pretty much done. And depending upon the thickness, that can take anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. Ultimately, you do not want to be cooking something like a ribeye for 6 hours. On first glance, you might think, oh, well, that will make it more tender. And while technically that might be right, it changes the texture of your steak. So at some point, your steak will get more soft and less like an actual steak. If you'd like a printable reference for sous vide as far as the proteins, what temperatures, what textures you might get, I have a guide in the description below that you can download. It's kind of a cheat sheet for you to get started sous videing. So just remember, the temperature that you choose cooks the steak, but the time determines the texture of the steak. Now that we've gone over the things to not do, we're gonna go over the things to do that can change your sous vide cooking immediately. And some of them only take a few seconds. Now, one of the gripes with sous vide might be that a lot of times it takes a very long time. But if you plan it with your schedule, it can work perfectly. One thing I like to do when I am cooking something for say 30 hours is I will start my sous vide the night before, put the lid on it, and when I wake up in the morning, I just take my protein out of the refrigerator and I put it in the sous vide and head off to work. I'm never waiting on the sous vide to heat up. It is just ready when I'm ready. And if you're doing something like a steak and it only takes an hour or 2, you can have the sous vide running and ask someone at home while you're at work to just put them in there at a particular time, and it can be done when you get home. There are ways to get around the longer cook time times of sous vide. You just have to plan a little bit. And in my opinion, it's well worth it. The second thing you should do is to season your steak before it goes into the bag. Your steaks are gonna be cooking anywhere from an hour to 2 hours. And if you have that salt and pepper and garlic powder in the bag while it's cooking, it will develop more flavor and it will taste better. There is one seasoning that I don't recommend going into the bag, and that is fresh garlic. At the lower temperatures that you're cooking steaks at, fresh garlic does not have the temperature to cook and become a sweeter, tastier, less harsh flavor. So skip the garlic in the bag, wait until you're searing, and you can use it when you baste the steak with butter, herbs, and some fresh garlic. Instead of using that fresh garlic, you can use garlic powder. It gives good flavor and you don't have to worry about it having that harsh, bitter bite. Now the next one. What if you forgot to take your steaks out of the freezer? It's not the end of the world. You can cook your steak in sous vide from frozen. Add about an hour to the cook, but you can just place it in the water bath and it is good to go. You don't have to wait for it to thaw, nothing like that. So if you plan properly and have steaks that are already seasoned waiting in your freezer, then you can throw them in the sous vide and you can have a great steak. Another thing you should do is save the bag juices. That bag juice could be made into a pan sauce, but if you're gonna make it into a pan sauce, make sure you strain it first. If you heat it up a little bit, you'll notice a gray foaminess on top of the bag juices. That is just proteins that have leached out from the meat. Skim it off and you will get a much cleaner sauce. One thing you should look out for and one thing you should do is make sure you get as much air out of the bag as possible. Now, it's not the end of the world if you don't. You can weigh it down with weights, a rack, or just something that will push the steak down into the water. You want that water circulation to be hitting all parts of the steak because it will cook your steak evenly. Make sure you get all the air out of the bag, or as much of it as you can. So the last thing that you should do is add some salt at the end. After you've cooked your steak and sliced it, you can add a finishing flaky salt to your steak. It gives it a little bit more texture, you get a little crunch from the flaky salt, and it gives it a pop of flavor. My favorite finishing salt is a smoked sea salt. Those are my 5 things to stop doing and my 5 things to start doing. And as a bonus, I'm gonna give you a rapid fire round of a few quick things to help your sous vide cook. This is one we have already said, but we're gonna go again because it's so important to getting a good crust. Dry off your steak 50 times if you have to. Get it as dry as possible. Cook ahead of time when you're cooking for a bunch of people. If you have multiple people that you're cooking steaks for, if you sous vide them the night before, you can have them in the refrigerator resting and you can sear them off or grill them when everyone gets here. You spend less time cooking your steaks and more time hanging out with your guests. Another tip is you do not need to flip the bag or touch it or do anything. If all the air is out of it, the water is circulating around the bag evenly all the way around and it will be cooked. So don't flip it, just leave it alone. Another tip is if you do not have a vacuum sealer, no big deal. You can use the water displacement method where you stick your steak in a Ziploc bag and you close it almost all the way. But before you close it all the way, you dunk it into some water and let the water pressure push the air out of the top of the bag and you zip it up, and that should be good to go. It's not gonna get all the air out like a vacuum sealer would, but it will suffice if you do not have a vacuum sealer. And the last one is when you take your steak out of the sous vide bag, put it on a baking rack. This will allow air underneath it as well as on the top of it to help dry it as much as possible. I have focused on drying the steaks quite a bit in this video, but that is because it is such a vital part to getting a good crust. And a steak without a crust might as well not even be a steak. I appreciate you sticking around to watch. If you got anything from this video, I would love for you to subscribe. We're gonna continue learning and growing and becoming better home cooks. If you wanna see how to sous vide a ribeye from start to finish, you can check out this video here. And if you wanna see whether or not you can replace a ribeye with a chuck roast, you can check out the video right here. Until the next one, see ya.